Hello, trading is closed on July 31st, 2020. Go over our calls in just a minute. I have a fancy new disclaimer and rules page just to remind people, talking about my plan for the next day only. I'm assuming we don't gap smartly in the undesired direction, and if we do, the call's killed before the open. Can't guarantee the call is going to work. If you want to trade on it, do so at your own risk. It's apparent I need to do more frequent mention of some of my rules and make them clearer. If you're going to want to post on my channel, don't be rude, don't criticize, don't swear. If you want to give a market call, either give the reason or please don't make the call. Don't promote yourself, don't talk about your website, the trades, unless you tell us in advance what you're going to do, or your business. Nobody cares. If you insist on doing some of these things, they're not of general interest, you can always email me. Okay, back to review our calls. We looked for the pattern with the early low. This is it. Monday has the early high. We're still concerned about excessive bullishness in sentiment indicators, but until we break out of this consolidation one way or the other, you could probably interpret things either way. We have lower MEJT targets unless we gap up smartly. The higher one should print 32.29.31, and ultimately, no time limit, we should see 32.24.04. This looks like a good rally. The timing concerns me. It's a wall into the close. I'm not a big fan of walls. It shows buying with abandon. I particularly don't like them on a Friday. It's the least liquid time of the week. It's least likely institutions are behind this. Now, if you were going up all day Friday and you move like this, fine. People are climbing on the train. But this most likely represents people covering shorts or retail customers getting long because institutions need liquidity when they buy. If this is short covering, we don't know that for sure, but if it is, we'll gap down Monday and undercut this low promptly, or even with the gap itself. During the day, MEJT give an ultimate sell signal, gives us the lower target. Also said this rally wouldn't stick, so we'd undercut this line, find support. Now says this rally won't stick, we'll come back to the higher line. I'd like to thank the two different people who pointed out to me we have a hanging man. It's supposed to be a negative pattern. I did look into candlesticks a number of years ago from what I read. You have to drop tomorrow or this doesn't count. By tomorrow, I mean Monday. And one of the books I read gave statistics on the accuracy of candlestick patterns, and they weren't accurate enough for me, which is why I don't use them. The accuracy does improve dramatically when they involve a Bollinger Band, but that's not the case here. Well, here's our delightful channel. I was hoping it would be a clearer dividing line than it is. A little blip over it once. It's a bit concerning. a bit disconcerting. I don't like the fact we climbed over it again, but it was really right at the end of the day on Friday, and if, underline the word if, the gap under that low, it doesn't mean much. Until proven otherwise, I'm going to assume support's not holding. Now this is our count. Futures traded at an equivalent price higher than this point, but it's only regular trading hours which count, and the market went out of its way not to invalidate this count. I'm hoping it's not an accident. If this is the right count, we don't know that yet, should be some explanation for what's going on here. Well, the move down early Thursday looked like an impulse. At the time I thought it was the start of wave 3 down. If it isn't the next wave, it's kind of hard for me to tell what it is. If it is the next wave, we have an ABC. Phase 100%. C is right at 78.6. It's as high as we can go. Still maintain a fib relationship, because if it's 100%, you go over this high and kill the count. So we've gone as high as we can, if this count's right. And usually when you come to a point like that, either you gap over this line or the line wins. Monday's pattern has the early high. Typically it's a rally day with a high in the final hour. Failure is a straight line drop. We're going to use the mixed signal rules because we have a rally into the close on Friday. Almost always it carries over into Monday's open. When that doesn't happen, and particularly if we gap down instead, that should lead to a significant drop. So it's a bit ominous that MEJT is a lower target, and it's favored to print unless we gap up sharply. We also have a wall into the close. Often that leads to gapping down the next trading day. Wave counts can petal to the top. Sentiment indicators continue to show excessive optimism, which is negative. Yesterday was a rally day. Today was a rally day, but there were far more decliners than advancers. It's not a healthy situation. Wouldn't surprise me to see follow-through buying when futures open Sunday, but what counts is what happens in regular trading hours. What the bulls need to do is to continue the rally at the open, ideally by gapping up smartly. If we gap down smartly instead, I'd expect to see much lower prices before the drop ends. If we dropped far enough, the decline probably wouldn't end anytime soon. Here are next week's patterns. Looking for the pattern with the early high. It's usually a rally day, but if we gap down smartly, particularly under this low, or undercut it fast, then I would say look out below. And I'm not going to predict whether we do that or not. Just that's what to look out for. And that's today's call.